What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are working on the Fox again, and as you can see we got the wheels from the shed. He did an absolute amazing job working on the wheels, so I'm pretty happy about that. Now we can get a step further, but of course in this channel we always take a step back. The axle, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a hassle to make that work because the centerpiece, you have threads on both sides and in the middle it's just clean, no threads at all. That is a little bit too big, so we're gonna have to customize that a little bit, get more threads so we can fit the small little cones and we have a working wheel. Of course, with the whole brake system, it's gonna be a little bit of a hassle, but yeah, this is how it's gonna look. If you're new to the channel, this is the bike that we are building. You saw me working on the frame last week and on the engine, but this is the main goal that we are going for, like a racer look, clean, not too much. If you know how the bike looked before, this is a complete change and it looks absolutely perfect. I'm pretty happy about that, but I'm gonna be even more happy when we have a rolling frame. It's gonna be much more fun working on, and then we can work on stuff and put it on the bike and not have to worry about, hey, I still have to do this and that and that. So I'm pretty eager to get it all nice and fitted. Once we get in a rolling frame, I'm gonna be pretty happy, and we have a kickstand, and then we can have more beautiful pictures. If I can put the bike in its state like this on the table, then I'm gonna be pretty happy. But first, let me show you the front wheel and yeah, explain what's going on there. So as you can see, the cones are not in there. I'm talking about these little guys. We have the bearings as well that I need to clean out. But as you can see, there is enough thread in here. But when we look at it, it sticks out a little bit more, so yeah, it's not really perfect. So I'm gonna have to cut a little bit more thread in there. When we look at the stock one, it's pretty short, but on this axle it's a little bit of a longer axle and yeah, bigger and whatever, so yeah, we're gonna have to work on that. The back wheel, not really an issue, no problems there, it's just standard, not much customization. But with the different front fork, it's gonna have to be modified like everything else on this bike, carb system and all. We were looking at the bike, of course the seat stands out. This is my RCX seat. It's a little bit dirty and it's broken, so we're gonna have to get a new seat. We looked online and seats are pretty expensive. We're talking about 90 euros for a seat. For some people that's cheap, for some people that is expensive. For us it is expensive. At least on this bike we don't have a lot of money to spend on this bike. We try to keep it as normal as possible. We are selling the old parts to get new parts, so we still need a lot of stuff on this bike. Tires, valves, handlebars. These are my handlebars and my controls, so that needs to be changed out. Of course we're gonna have to buy some small stuff, connectors, hoses and whatever, but I don't really count that as expensive. It's just small stuff. I think for 50 euros we can get everything we need, and then the bike will be much more completed than before. Also, we were talking about getting the bike on the road. Need a headlight for that, a tail light and a brake light. Also, that is going to be something to work out on this bike. I'm just going to focus on getting it in a rolling state, and then we will be good. Now the plan for today, there is not really a plan for today. I wasn't expecting the wheels to be here, so I'm a little bit focused on that. But we're going to do some stuff, maybe some welding. Of course, I have some welding to do in preparation for the engine. So small little stuff that I'm gonna do. This plate right here where the carb is gonna connect, I'm gonna paint that because it is rusting and I don't want it to rust. I'm just gonna put it in some primer. Make something to do a leak down test, get this kickstart cover off of here and get those little bits of paint left on there completely gone, so we have a workable part. And yeah, it's gonna be small stuff like that. In the next week I'm gonna try to fix the axle, so next week we're gonna have to work on the front wheel. That is gonna be a progress. Once we get the wheel in there and we know that it works, we can get tires and then it's all gonna speed up. Once it's on tires, it's inflated, it's the way that we want it, we can focus on the spring. The axle is holding us back right now, so yeah. So a lot of small stuff. Let's just get into it, work on it and improve it, get some progress in there. So yeah, start the time lapse. So we're done for today. I didn't do a lot of work, I'm sorry about that. The video is gonna be shorter than normal, but we did some stuff that was necessary, and this was more like a day of figuring stuff out with the front wheel and also the shade, coming over and talking about the bike and see what we can and still need to buy. So yeah, let me show you what I did. So I paint stripped this cover a little bit more. It's not perfect, but the paint is gone, so yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. I still need to do some filing on this. There's some spots that need to be cleaned up, and it has to be a nice finish on there. Don't know if I'm gonna remove this. This is not really necessary anymore. Don't know what it's for. I don't know. I really don't know why this is here, but I might grind this down and maybe over here so it's a very smooth transition. Even on the underside, like this lip right here doesn't really serve a purpose anymore. And over here there's still some stuff that needs to be filed down, so it's a nice clean finish. Also, I painted this. I just painted it so it doesn't rust anymore. I wanted to keep it clean, and yeah, I just put some paint over it, some primer. When we start welding the intake, this is the plate for the intake. When we start welding it, I just can grind it off. It's a small layer of paint, but it will prevent it from rusting in the future, and well, in the time that we still need to work on the bike. Now, some people might be confused what I did right here. I took an old spark plug and put like this little tab on there, a small little tube, but let me show you what it's for, and it's actually really important. So this piece isn't actually for the bike, it's actually a tool to test the bike if your engine is good. What can happen? You have all these parts that need to line up and seal up and be airtight and whatever, and this is a way to test it. Now, you need a gauge and a air pump for this, but let me show you what I got. So I went on Amazon like a year ago and I bought this. This is for like measuring blood pressure. You have that wrap that goes around your arm, and then you pump it up and it creates pressure, and then the doctor can measure out what blood pressure you have. So the whole kit came with like the armband and this pump and some tubes and this gauge. And what we're going to use this part for is to do a leak down test on it. So what you do, we're going to connect this right here, connect the pump and connect the gauge. I'm gonna clip it right here. And then you can pump air into your engine and check for leaks. You can use soap and water, but the perfect way is if you pump it up and the gauge doesn't move. Now my gauge will move because the exhaust is not blocked off, there's no gaskets on the intake, and the crank seals aren't in there, but you get the point. See, now air is coming out of my exhaust. When we turn it, yeah, you can see the pressure build up. And if I hold it, it slowly goes down because a piston is not airtight. It will lose a little bit of pressure, but you can see what I mean. So when I hold this, I can build up pressure. And of course, when the engine is completely sealed, the pressure will stay. So when I'm gonna do this and every single hole is blocked, the pressure will stay in there. And then we know our engine is completely sealed. Our crank seals are sealed up. Cylinder head is completely sealed. And if you block off the other parts, like where the exhaust is, when I make this plate, I'm gonna make it double. So I can put it on there so it's completely blocked off with the rubber gasket. So that is all nice and airtight. And on the intake, I'm just gonna put in a plug, put that in there, not doing the carb because the carbs has a lot of places that air can escape. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. And then I can pump it up. But as you can see, I told you guys this engine has a lot of compression. So when I put air in it, the engine actually moves, or the crank actually moves. See, we create a lot of pressure. Now, of course, this gauge is not in PSI or bars. We don't measure blood pressure that way, so you have to do conversion. I don't know what the conversion is. I'm gonna have to look that up to see what this scale measures up into PSI, but you don't need a lot of PSI or bar. You really need a small amount. So I'm thinking about if I get the gauge halfway up there and it stays, I'm pretty happy about that. So yeah, that's a tool that I made. Now, because the threads of the spark plug are pretty short, they are exactly good enough for this engine, but because they are so short, they will fit on any engine that take this plug, and you can test every single engine, like for the Chow or for the RCX, or even like a bigger engine. So now I'm gonna take apart the bike again, put it back where it needs to be because it cannot stay up here, take that front axle home, and then just see if I can customize it to fit the wheel. And then hopefully next week we can start on putting the wheel back in there and getting a rolling frame, so we can order our tires and have a rolling frame. So that is gonna be it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And if you're not already subscribed yet, I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.